And we welcome you back to Big Board Sports on a Monday morning when we always talk UAlbany men's lacrosse, and the head coach is Scott Marr, and he joins us here on Big Board Sports. Good morning, Coach.
Guys, how are we doing today?
We are great, and I guess it's the first time this season that we've talked to you on a Monday coming off a loss. So I know that's never a good thing, but in the whole grand scheme of things, how big of a deal was it losing at UMBC on Friday night?
Well, just hoping it's a blessing in disguise in a way, to be honest. You know, we just weren't we weren't prepared, I guess. I don't know. It was a short week. It was a different week. We didn't practice on Monday. You know, a lot of things go into it, but I just think mentally we weren't there, and hopefully it just serves as a little bit of a wake-up call for us. And, you know, we got to get back on the horse here and get prepared for a big weekend and 2 weekends with Binghamton on a Friday night and then Yale on a Sunday. So, you know, this was an odd night for us. We just didn't have a whole lot of energy, and they did, and they took advantage of it. It
was also a night, Scotty, where Connor Fields and Justin Ray were not in your lineup and injured, and Connor Fields is your best player. And I guess it's an understatement to say how big of a deal that is when you don't have your best player on the field.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help, you know, certainly. You know, but I can't put it on that. We have other guys who are capable. You know, it honestly just was an energy level thing. We just didn't feel great before the game, and like I said, it was a kind of a whirlwind, changing the game time and game date and getting down there and stuff. Like I said, I just don't think we were mentally in the right place come game time. So it's something that we have to work on, obviously, and you know, not to take any credit away from how they played. They played outstanding. So, you know, again, it's just a learning lesson. You know, it's not the end of the season. We still have 3 regular season games left, and again, it's not going to be it's not going to define us. You know, it's just one game, and you know, our body of work right now is we've been out 11 times and we're 10-1. So we've beaten some good teams. We know we're capable of playing better than we did the other night, and we just need to get back to that.
And clearly the voters recognize what was missing in Friday night's game against UMBC. The new standings out, or the rankings out this morning. You guys only drop 1 spot to number 2. Maryland goes to 1. And, Scotty, I know a lot of coaches across the country would love to have your problems. Like, you're beating opponents by 7-8 goals per game on average before the UMBC game. And I know you felt like the offense still wasn't completely there. So going back to your first answer when you say you hope this was a blessing in disguise, is this a little bit of a kick as well to say, hey, we can't just coast and win games?
Yeah, you can. I mean, again, it's Division I, and our opponents are, you know, are all capable of winning. Obviously, I think it's just again, you know, we hadn't lost a conference game in 5 years in a regular season, a 31-game winning streak. You know, again, is it a matter of that? Did we get complacent? Did we really just kind of looking at this as it was a game right before a 2 weeks off? You know, we're pretty banged up. You know, did we kind of just think to ourselves, hey, we'll get through this and then have the 2 weeks off and get prepared for the end of the season? And again, we just weren't mentally prepared for the game. And again, that rests on me. That's my fault, and I have to take responsibility for not having the team and our staff ready to go. And you know, again, it's a learning lesson. I'm just glad it wasn't a season-ending lesson. You know, where we have an opportunity here to regroup and get back on the horse and play again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you know, sometimes a loss can really do you some good, right? You've had the monkey on your back since being in that number 1 spot. So we'll see how your guys react. Now, you do have the week off. How are you going to handle that, Scott, with no game, and then you get ready for Binghamton on the 20th and at Yale on the 22nd and then Hartford on the 28th, and then you got the tournament. So how do you utilize the week off, and is it enough time to get everybody healthy for the next game?
Well, we certainly hope so. I mean, it's not just, unfortunately, it's not Connor and Justin that are the hurt ones. We have a bunch of other guys who have been in the starting lineup that are dealing with some nagging injuries, and we're hoping that we can get some guys healthy here for this stretch here at the end of the season. This week will really just be about Albany. You know, we don't have an opponent to focus on, so we're really just going to focus on ourselves and some things that we need to do better. You know, just all over the field, and really just try to get our game back a little bit. You know, we haven't had a whole lot of transition lately, and our pace has been kind of slow. And again, when you're playing teams that slow the ball down against you, you know, it can mentally drain on you a little bit. So we have to kind of find a way to get through that. You know, UMBC really possessed the ball. Stony Brook tried to possess the ball. You know, I'm sure Binghamton's going to try to do the same thing. So it's kind of a mental thing for us to be able to kind of push through that and kind of get the pace of play to our standard, and that's what we're going to work on this week.
Scott, Tahoga Nanticoke had a hat trick Friday night. So did Kyle McClancy. But specific to Tahoga, how have you seen him progress? And have these past two games without Connor on the field, and Justin for that matter, has that allowed him to take a little bit more responsibility on his shoulders? And is that a good thing as you guys head into the postseason?
Yeah, certainly, he has taken on a bigger role. I think he has 4 points the other night. I think he's averaging somewhere around 5 to 6 points a game here since Connor's been out. So he's certainly picking up the slack. And Kyle McClancy, again, another hat trick himself. But, we need to get more guys involved, and I think that's something that Tahoga is going to have to continue to learn, and be that guy to get more guys around him involved. And the scoring can't be just him and Kyle. So, he's a freshman. He's done a great job, no doubt. And it just was a tough shooting night for all of us. We just did not shoot the ball very well. So it was a little bit of a struggle. But he's doing a great job, and we're looking forward to getting Connor back here and getting that kind of that 1-2 punch back. So hopefully we get Connor back in 2 weeks here.
Scott, does not being number one at the moment, and obviously you can still reclaim that, and we know what lies ahead, but not being number one at the moment, does that take a little pressure off of your team?
I'm not sure, Roger, to be honest. I mean, I'm not sure how much pressure was on really for being number one. I think more of the pressure, honestly, was playing in conference, and having to get ourselves up for our conference opponents. I think we need to go back to having fun playing in our conference and wanting to win and wanting to continue to dominate the conference. So, I think that was more of the pressure. I think the 31 games in 5 years and, not having a loss for a long time. I mean, nobody on this team has experienced a loss in conference in the regular season. So I think that was probably more of the pressure, was to continue to play well against those teams, and obviously we didn't. So we got to get back to to playing our style of lacrosse and being confident when we go into these games.
Scotty, we appreciate a few minutes. Enjoy the week off with having to play a game and get your team ready to roll, which I'm sure you will. And we'll talk to you this time next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.